Welcome to the Square Circle, everybody. Right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. As you could tell, we weren't impressed by CM Punk's fighting in the UFC. I guess, Justin, if you want, really quickly, we can go into it.
Yes.
We also got to talk, because you can't not talk about it. I don't know, Dom, if you watched New Japan Dominion.
Yes, I heard. I'm very happy about what happened.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's happy, but did you watch it?
I didn't watch it
Okay,
yet.
we got to have a watching session, because it's weird. Because
I want to watch it.
Japanese, like the hours and everything, it's just really weird. And I watched as much as I could on like YouTube and on like streaming platforms, but this was we'll get into it later.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Wait, what's our names?
Oh,
come on.
I'm Sheldon Benjamin.
No.
I'm Charlie Haas.
No, I'm Dominic Arbolino. I'm going to stick to my real name, all right?
All right, I'm Justin Greenberg, and that is...
Joe Ritter.
Yes, and we're talking pro wrestling on the Squared Circle on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC. But we're going to talk quickly UFC. Let's get the two UFC stories out of the way. There's actually three that I want to touch upon. So CM Punk, he had his fight versus Michael Jackson. And he got moonwalked all over. It was, just embarrassing to watch.
It really was. I mean, honestly, I love UFC. I watch every single, fight night. I try to watch everything that goes on with the UFC. And this was just really bad. I honestly respect Punk for trying to say, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to be an MMA fighter. But he's just too old.
And he was committed for it. He put in the effort. I mean, he was training and all the stuff. And
the problem is he was just training in the wrong things. And we're not an MMA show, so I won't go super into it. But think about it like this. He had 6 months to train to become so much of a better grappler that he stopped a guy from punching him in the face. You can't teach that in 6 months. That's something that guys spend their entire lives becoming black belts. Learning from guys like Royce Gracie and the Gracie family, guys who innovated, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Those guys perfected this their entire lives, and they're not even perfect at it. Royce lost a lot and he won a lot. So, it's just one of those things where you can't teach a guy in 6 months how to become the most dominant grappler in the world, where he's going to stop, a guy. Mike Jackson by far is not the greatest striker ever.
Mike Jackson stinks.
Right.
First of all, they were both two jabronis. It was like me versus who's a nerd, like Steve Urkel.
Right.
Urkel is actually pretty badass.
But the point I'm trying to say is that the whole thing is that Mike Jackson knew where his strengths were, and it's punching. He knew if I trained,
he was a Golden Glove boxer.
Right. He knew that if I train in how to punch and how to work the ring, I'll be fine. Whereas Punk, he decided, I want to be a grappler. Did he ever actually wrestle in college? Was he an NCAA champion?
No. And that's the reason why, a guy like Brock Lesnar, who, had no training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he was able to translate so well to the UFC because he's just a freak athlete. He was a collegiate, wrestler. Brock Lesnar, if he committed to just about anything, he could, be really good at it. He was going to be in the NFL.
He was in the NFL.
He left the WWE in 2004, and he went to the Vikings training camp, and he was cut the last day.
No, he played one game.
No, he never played in the NFL. I will bet my left you-know-what that he's never played in the NFL.
He's played one snap in the NFL.
Well, don't worry,
he has
Justin.
not.
You could survive on just the right one.
You can.
You'll be okay.
Would it technically be the right one anymore, though? It would just be the one, right? Brock Lesnar has never played a game in the NFL. He was cut the last day of training camp in 2004.
Do you think maybe preseason?
Maybe it was preseason.
Maybe preseason, but that doesn't count.
That doesn't count as an actual game in the NFL. But
so he did not play in the NFL. Either way, if a guy who's never played football was able to become the last cut. Imagine he, dedicated his life to football. If he dedicated his life to mixed martial arts, he could have been one of the all-time greats. He was still, a pretty good mixed martial arts fighter. And there's actually news on him as well. UFC President Dana White is claiming that Universal Champion Brock Lesnar is interested in fighting former UFC light heavyweight champion John Bones Jones once he returns to the UFC.
Great, two steroids guys
which
going at it.
Which is interesting because Lesnar, outweighs the guy by 50 pounds.
Yeah, right. It's two dope heads going at it. John Jones has been caught.
Why is John Jones allowed to fight in the UFC anymore?
He should never be allowed to fight.
It's the same thing with Brock, too.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's just money.
Mark Hunt won a huge lawsuit against the UFC over Brock Lesnar doping, and they knew that he was doping, and they just told USADA, don't tell anyone he was doping until after the fight. They literally, the UFC at this point has become one of the scummiest fighting promotions right now. Especially the fact that they are trying to pass new laws called the Ali Act, I think it's called, where they actually want to like enforce legally a lot of the standings, a lot of martial arts like promotions, and the UFC is really trying to fight against this.
Well, every fighting promotion is scummy. I mean, come on, boxing is so corrupt. UFC, whether but Pride, UFC, anywhere, it's all.
But the whole thing was that UFC was supposed to be above all that. It's supposed to be, you go there, you fight, you win, you move up. You lose, you go down. You keep fighting. Now
it's all about money.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
They're selling themselves out, and it's
also,
really
real
sad.
Quick, since we were just talking about Brock and CM Punk, that actually today is the official day. Brock has now had the belt for 435 days. Now Punk is 434.
And 6 title defenses.
No,
10.
No, you're wrong. 10.
Oh, 10?
10 for Brock and 141 for Punk.
Who's on TV how many days? Probably like every single week.
Yeah.
Punk? Yeah.
Punk. Not Brock.
And quickly, one other UFC thing. Ronda Rousey is going to be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame.
Who cares?
Right now, that's rightfully so. If it wasn't for Ronda Rousey doing what she did in the UFC, I'm dead set that you wouldn't have seen a lot of things with women go the way that they have gone in. Not even just the UFC, I would even say in the WWE, because before that, before Ronda became a dominant, the one selling pay-per-views in the UFC, what were the women doing in WWE?
I mean,
they were just starting their evolution.
They were
starting.
Know if they were doing that. It was still, the Stone Age of women's wrestling.
Right. So Ronda Rousey breaking into the UFC and literally breaking people's arms and killing it at doing what she did in the UFC really started the women's revolution.
So we have her to blame?
Across. Yes.
I want to see the bra and panties matches back. Come on.
Those are honestly...
We got pretty close 2 weeks ago on SmackDown with the dance-off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was
We got pretty close.
Real quick, I want to bring up, so I listened to, obviously I wasn't here last week, and I listened to the beginning of the show, and I just wanted to let all the listeners know I did not get a procedure done. I had to work. All right, Justin, I heard you trying to.
Sure, you got work.
I just want to alert everybody.
Hold on. Dominique.
Hold on, he got work done.
Yeah.
No.
It's good.
Enough.
All right, now let's talk pro wrestling. The reason why we're here. Do you want to go over Raw and SmackDown from last week, or should we go right to the Money in the Bank?
Because you are listening to the Squared Circle right here on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
All right, so Raw, which I did watch.
I did not, because obviously, like I said, I was at work.
Getting work. It's good.
All right, Elias and Jinder Mahal.
Your work looks good, man.
It looks great. Elias and Jinder Mahal defeated Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in the opening match. This was surprising that, Seth Rollins took a pinfall, but it's obviously leading up to Elias and Seth Rollins at the pay-per-view, which I've no real desire for. Kind of just a throwaway match, building up both of these feuds for their singles matches. Any thoughts on it? Comments, concerns?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Wait.
Elias is being wasted. Yeah, what you're reading is right.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the thing under the second?
Yes.
What is that?
That you're reading. We're going to get to that in a second. But I hate that Elias is being wasted here.
I don't think he's being wasted. I really don't.
You just need... The whole thing stems from Brock Lesnar needs to stop being the Universal, so guys like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns can be in part of the Universal title and let Elias take the Intercontinental, because he would be great for an Intercontinental.
That's what I'm saying. I said it like 2 weeks ago. With Brock not being there, the amount of opportunities that are not there, it's unbelievable. I mean, you think about the IC title is the main title really on the show. Has been for a while, since The Miz had it, even when Ambrose was kind of taking it over. And I think that it's just like you need the Universal Championship to be there, because again, like you said, it doesn't, the opopportunity for guys like Elias, even Bobby Roode right now, because he's not Universal Championship. I understand.
No, hold on. No, not Bobby Roode. You just reminded me about something, and I'm actually really upset. I forgot about this. Do you guys know what today is, by the way?
It's Rusev Day.
It is Rusev Day, but
it's
more
also
importantly,
Lana Day.
No, June 11th. Going back, I believe it was 3 years now. 2015, Dusty Rhodes died.
Oh, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
The Bull of the Wood, if you would.
One of the all-time greats, Dusty Rhodes. I mean, the father of Cody, the father of obviously Goldust, and just if you watch any old Dusty Rhodes promos, he's one of, if not all-time. Turn his mic on. Mic on.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to talk today.
We have a special guest in studio. He's a student here at Nassau Community College.
Do you work at this radio station?
I'm starting to.
There you go.
Cool.
His name is Gabriel.
And he's interested in wrestling, so he's sitting in on the show, and we're going to see if we're going to keep him long-term, right? We're going to sign you to a long-term extension? Yeah, okay.
Bring up the energy. Bring up the energy, Gabriel.
All right, bro.
There you go. There you go.
He's coming in on it. So here's the thing. Dusty Rhodes, he's the father of NXT. He's a guy who, a lot of wrestlers look up to, or looked up to in the industry. So
Legend.
Yeah, he's a legend in his own right. And you know what? You gotta take a second just to remember him because,
absolutely.
I feel awful. I just, you mentioning Bobby Roode, it made me think of NXT.
I would go back and watch
I don't know how that made you think of this.
NXT.
Because he was only good in NXT.
Oh, Bobby Roode.
Right. I was thinking about where was he, when was he good?
Bobby Roode was awesome in TNA. I don't know if you guys ever watched.
In WWE.
WWE,
in their system, he's only been good in NXT. And speaking of TNA also, apparently they're going to sign Beer Money. They want Beer Money to happen in the WWE.
Oh, so James Storm
Gabriel, you like that?
Yo, I love that because James Storm was in NXT for a while, right?
Like he had a match in NXT, and for some reason he decided to, not pursue that. And what a cool thing is, AJ Styles' theme song was actually going to be, it was written for James Storm.
Yep.
Which is interesting. I think it's one of the best theme songs in the company right now, actually. And it's funny that could have been with James Storm. I'm all for, a Beer Money revival. I thought that was some of the best stuff in TNA back in the day. And also, TNA actually signed up with the Jericho Cruise.
Yes.
So Chris Jericho's
the
having a
roller.
cruise. He's having a cruise in late October. And I was actually debating on going on it. It's like maybe like $700, $800 to go on the cruise, which is not bad. It's a 2-day trip. There's going to be wrestling, rock and roll. It looks like a fun time.
Yeah, we'll come back to Jericho too. We're gonna have a lot to talk about Chris Jericho.
Yeah. So I'd say
not
go
that much.
Oh no, when you think about it, there's a lot to discuss with what's going on with him. But anyway, let's just go back.
I'd say just go watch any Dusty Rhodes promo because him and Piper are the all-time greats.
Yes,
and they're both gone. They both died. Piper's anniversary of his death is coming up too. They died within a couple of weeks span. It was a real travesty. That 2015 summer was very, very sad for hardcore wrestling fans, or old school wrestling fans rather. Let's move to the second match of Monday Night Raw. James Harden, that's right, defeated Kurt Hawkins.
Why didn't I see this?
It wasn't James Harden, the basketball player.
Oh.
It was a jabroni. It was like a tall white guy named James Harden because it was in Houston.
Yeah.
Get it?
It was
it's
a
funny.
jobber.
Stupid. This is stupid.
They had the "Let's Go Jobber" chant going, and then he actually won.
So that was his 200 loss.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately.
But then something happened with Baron Corbin.
Constable Corbin!
Yeah, I heard this. This is like a new thing.
This is great.
What happened?
I want to go off on this for a second. Real quick. I said that they need to turn Corbin face or do something to Corbin to change him, and they made him an authority figure called Constable Corbin.
Yeah, no, Stephanie McMahon sent.
She gave him power, and honestly, I thought that was the best part of Raw. That was the best part of Raw, was Constable Corbin.
We'll see how this is going to grow going forward, but let's hope it may be like...
So far, I love this.
All right. But you love a lot of things, too. Yeah.
Right? No, but my thing is, you took a guy who I honestly, every time he comes on TV, I actually change the channel.
I don't.
I changed the channel. I don't like Baron Corbin the way he was.
I think his character is stupid, but I like it. I like his in-ring work.
But what was his character?
Deep Six is pretty cool.
What was his character? Explain it to me.
He's the lone wolf, man. He doesn't
what does that mean?
Else. He doesn't need anybody else.
He comes out and he's just like,
wolf.
Whoa. It's like stupid.
I think that is part of the problem.
Strowman is a lone wolf.
Yeah.
If anyone's a lone wolf, it's Strowman. The problem with a lot of WWE is a lot of their characters don't have really stories going on with it. And you say what you will about a guy like Vince Russo, who wrote for the WWE in the late 90s. He had a lot of nonsense, but he had a storyline for every character. The lowest on the totem pole all the way to Stone Cold Steve Austin. So hopefully, give something to a guy like Corbin, and if it catches on, you can move on with it.
Also, again, that's another guy that can be like IC title.
Yeah,
like he could be a champion.
And I think it's great that you gave him something, and I actually watched and I was like, oh my God, is hilarious. Like, I didn't think it was, a pinnacle of storytelling. I just hope it doesn't turn into like
a joke type of thing.
No, of course it's going to.
I know it's going to.
You know what it's like? It's almost like
the Bad News Barrett. It's literally what I was thinking. I'll tell you this. I'd say Baron Corbin is going to be out of the WWE in a year.
I hope.
Really?
I don't see this guy lasting that long.
I feel bad for him because, I went behind the scenes of a show once, and I got to see him.
Why do you feel bad for him?
And
he had an opportunity with Money in the Bank, and he screwed it.
He didn't have an opportunity. The writers had an opportunity.
He won it. He won it. All right, but he, was